lo dejan pasar.
En el día, ¿piensas seguro? Ahora, ¿no? Muchas personas que robe.
Hasta aquí llega toda la gente.
¿Verdad?
Hasta acá llega la gente, aquí al pie de la Virgen, hasta ahí nomás.
¿No puede ir al Parque Iguaque directo de aquí?
Peligroso,
Ok.
peligroso. Por allá fuman marihuana. Los chinos se meten por allá entre el monte y fuman marihuana y lo atracan. Sí. Aquí.
Ok. Gracias.
Si viene acompañado, sí, pero viene solo. No conoce, se pierde en el monte.
Okay. Hola amigos y amigas, Javier here for Hum of the Earth. And indeed, I did not know the area, but I did have a trail that I had found on Maps.me, which made it look like, from this viewpoint that we just saw, that I could make it to the Parque de la Iguana. So here you can see some of the informal housing that I walked through to get there. And also I was alone, like the woman said, which wasn't a good idea. But I've been traveling for a long time and for years, and rarely has something bad happened to me in these types of situations. And it was still fairly early in the day, as you can see, and the scenery was beautiful, the vegetation, etc. So I decided to go for it. She had warned me about people that would try to smoke with me and then rob me, and the only people that I saw smoking and that were clearly armed were the army forces of Colombia. But they left me alone. They were on another side of a fence that you see here. So it looks like we can't cross because this is actually army land here. Ministro de la Defensa. So I don't know if we'll be crossing over after all. So there's actually army property along the main river, Rio Cravo Sur, which I've made a full video of also on this channel. So I couldn't pass by there for my little hike, but I still enjoyed. I'm glad that nothing bad happened, because something definitely could have. Yopal is situated, and there's some of my fellow chickens there in the video. Yeah, so Yopal is situated fairly close to Venezuela. If you've seen any of my previous videos about safety in Colombia, you'll know that Colombia is home to a lot of Venezuelan refugees, millions in fact. And the climate is pretty nice for living outdoors or living in informal housing in Yopal. So when you're going along the river, you'll see lots of informal housing. And of course, usually robbery and crime is a result of poverty. And there definitely is some here in Yopal, people that are homeless or semi-homeless. So it's definitely a possibility. And when I was asking people about going on hikes and walking around, people were always telling me to be careful, try to go early in the morning as possible, try to go in a group. And although nothing did happen in my month in Yopal, just from the warnings and the way people were talking to me about safety, it did seem like it's a real thing, that you do have to be careful when you're going out, especially alone in nature. You do have to be very vigilant, and something definitely could happen. In one of my other adventures that I've gone on recently in Yopal, I walked east of the city through to the plains, and I tried to hitchhike there because it was a very long walk to where I wanted to go, and no one would pick me up, which compared to Boyacá, which the Colombian department where I was previously, this was night and day, considering that it never took long for anyone to pick me up. It usually would take a few cars and then someone would pick me up. But here, people are definitely more doubtful of picking up a stranger. So that just kind of speaks to the general vibe and atmosphere of the place. But with that being said, if you're within this city during daytime, it did feel very safe. I never felt afraid in the city itself. And again, I was staying downtown and I've walked around pretty much the whole city, and never did I feel like the city itself was dangerous. And even also there's not a lot of homeless people within the city, which is kind of surprising, because when you do go out of the city, especially along the river north of the city, there's a lot of informal housing, but within the city there isn't a lot of homeless people, especially compared to other cities in Colombia. So the city itself actually felt pretty safe, and they actually have a slogan of Yopal being a safe place. So overall, I mean, a fairly safe city, but you definitely do have to be careful. It's always wise to ask a local before you're going on a hike, like a local living near the hike that you're going to, get their advice on whether it's a good idea. And it's usually good to go early in the day. In a group is preferable. Definitely don't go later on in the day, especially if it's getting dark. But yeah, I mean, something bad could happen at any point, at any time, but it could also happen anywhere else. So yeah, overall, a fairly safe place, and I did really enjoy my time in Yopal. It's a beautiful place on the eastern plains of Colombia, but you also have the foothills of the Andes there, so you kind of get the best of both worlds. And if you're interested in this part of Colombia, I have a playlist in the description with all the videos that I've made in eastern Colombia. I got to do hikes to viewpoints, waterfalls, to the plains east of the city, as well as an adventure following the Rio Cravosur River, the most important river for the city in this part of Colombia. I also have a video, a full tour in history of the city of Yopal, as well as some other videos of the neighboring towns and cities such as Agua Azul, Toramena, and Monterrey. And all of those videos can be found in the playlist that is linked in the description below this video. And in that description, you can also find a link to another playlist that I made of the first time that I traveled through Colombia. This was on a bicycle, part of a larger trip bicycling through Latin America. And I have playlists for all those countries that I bicycled through Latin America, Eastern Africa, Central and Eastern Europe, etc., all available on this very same YouTube channel, Hum of the Earth. Alternatively, if you'd like to see an interactive map of everywhere that I went and everything that I got to see and do, I have that map available over at my website, followthehumoftheearth.com. Where you can click on the different locations on the map and see the various videos and blog posts that I made of these places. And if you'd like to follow my continuing adventures through Colombia and beyond, you can do so by clicking on the red subscribe button below the video and clicking on the bell to be notified when new videos come out. Alright, so that's going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good one.